The zebra effect is one of the most common patterns in human groups and teams. It happens when people do whatever is needed to blend in for safety, rather than standing out or speaking up. The zebra effect is often a result of people not wanting to rock the boat, not wanting to be seen as disruptive or the odd one out. Does this feel at all familiar where you work? Here are some typical examples and signs of the zebra effect. A reluctance to disagree or offer a different idea or perspective in conversation or in meetings. Saying yes to things when it probably really means no. A rush or a drive towards consensus, trying to get everyone to agree as quickly as possible. An unwillingness to question or challenge things that are said or done. Tacitly accepting viewpoints held particularly by people who are viewed as powerful or expert. Hero worship responses to people who are popular or apparently influential. Silence when people are invited to contribute, or people attending meetings or being present and therefore seen but not contributing. The zebra effect is quietly dangerous. All too easily, it imperceptibly morphs into, for example, condoning things which are clearly not okay, avoiding uncomfortable truths and conversations, bystanding on crucial issues, colluding with damaging, toxic or harmful interactions, enabling immoral or even illegal things to carry on in plain sight, all out of fear. So, my invitation here is to deal with the zebra effect by being less zebra. Yet, of course, this is easier said than done. So, I've developed a number of powerful ways to do this, which you can put into practice straight away in your own approach and with your teams. So, what's the first one? Well, people often tell me that they're reluctant to speak up or to challenge the status quo at work because it feels like a confrontational thing to do. And thinking differently about this is the first step to reducing the zebra effect and increasing and nurturing more psychological safety. Rather than thinking of it as confrontational challenge, I'm inviting you to think of it as curious challenge, with curiosity at the heart. Curious challenge is a useful frame for disrupting the status quo or having uncomfortable conversations because its starting point isn't criticising the current way of doing things or the people doing those things or blaming people for the way things are. Rather, its focus is exploring how could things potentially be even more effective. So, rather than sending people into defensive mode, its intention instead is to open up people to discovery mode. So, what's the difference between confrontational challenge and curious challenge? Here are a number of examples drawn from my recent work with diverse teams, different levels, different types of organisation, where people are trying to shift from confrontational challenge to curious challenge as a part of their way of dealing with the zebra effect and nurturing more psychological safety across their teams. An example I heard of confrontational challenge was, "This is clearly not working. We obviously need to take a different approach." A curious alternative to the same issue might be, "I'm noticing our results aren't what we'd like to see. Perhaps we could take a step back and consider, what could we do differently?" An example of confrontational challenge was, If we carry on like this, it's not surprising we can't recruit or keep new team members. So what are we going to do about it? A curious challenge approach to the same issue. I'm curious that we've had several people leave in a really short space of time. What do we think might be the reasons for this? And do you think there's anything we could do to prevent it? Confrontational challenge. It's just not good enough. We must get our house in order and sharpish. A curious challenge to the same issue. Is anyone else wondering how we could possibly approach this differently and get better results and outcomes? Shifting from confrontational challenge into curious challenge is one of several key skills if you wish to nurture more psychological safety in your teams to get even more effective and fulfilling outcomes. To dive deeper into how you can model and embed psychological safety even more effectively, here are some options. Go to betheculturechange.co.uk or find me on YouTube or TikTok at Be The Culture Change. On LinkedIn, there's only one, Dr. Jeanne Hardacre, and that is me. And I'll look forward, whichever way you choose to connect, to bringing you more insights and practical ways to improve your relationships, your influence, and your culture at work. See you soon.